Not for a second. Really. Look, stay there for a moment. Because once you do, you start noticing something you can't unsee. Planes crossing the sky, white trails, straight, perfect. But something feels off. They don't fade, they don't vanish, they stay, they stretch, they spread out slowly until the entire sky starts to change. From clear blue to something artificial, like a thin layer covering everything. And here's the uncomfortable question. If it's just water vapor, why doesn't it behave like it? Welcome to Crazy World Facts. This isn't just another theory. This is something you can verify yourself, something happening above you every day. And the more you pay attention, the harder it becomes to ignore. They're called chemtrails, and this is where everything splits. The official explanation is simple. Contrails, condensation trails. Hot engine exhaust meets freezing air. Ice crystals form. They disappear quickly. That's the key. They're supposed to disappear, but many don't. They linger for minutes, for hours. They expand. They turn into cloud-like layers, and slowly they cover the sky. Now think about this. Two planes, same altitude, same sky. One leaves a trail that vanishes in seconds. The other leaves one that stays for hours. Why? Because that difference is real. And once you notice it, you can't ignore it anymore. But it doesn't stop there. Some independent researchers have taken it further, collecting samples, air, rainwater, soil. After days where the sky was heavily covered, and in some cases, they found something unexpected. Metal particles, aluminum, barium. Substances that shouldn't be present in those conditions. No official confirmation, no definitive explanation either. And that gap is where everything starts to break. Because when there's no clear answer, people start asking better questions. But here's where things get even more unsettling. Because there is something real. Not a theory, not speculation. Geoengineering. Large-scale climate modification programs proposed by scientists, studied seriously, even tested in controlled environments. The idea? Release particles into the atmosphere, reflect sunlight, alter climate behavior, stabilize global temperatures. And suddenly, everything changes. Because now we know it's possible, know it's real. So the question is no longer, can it be done? The question becomes, is it already happening? Because on certain days, when you look up, it doesn't look natural anymore. But there's something else, something most people don't talk about. Patterns. Days where the sky starts perfectly clear. Then slowly, lines appear. One, then another, then more. Parallel, intersecting, forming grids, covering entire regions. That's not random. And when something isn't random, someone is controlling it. Let me ask you something. If something was being released into the atmosphere at a global scale, how would you know? Would it be announced? Or would it be explained in a way no one questions? Something simple, something familiar. Just condensation. Because history shows us something. When something is too big, it's not always hidden. Sometimes it's normalized, repeated, until nobody questions it. You look up, you see the lines, you ignore them, you move on. But if you stop, if you observe carefully, if you compare different days, you start seeing patterns. And once you see them, you can't go back. Because maybe it's not what it seems, and maybe it never was. If you're drawn to real-world mysteries, things you can observe yourself, and questions that don't have clear answers, subscribe to Crazy World Facts. Because sometimes the most disturbing things aren't hidden, they're right above you.